Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to Rise Up After Dark. Hey, hello, what do you know? Today is Wednesday, August 5th, and we are back for a little DYOR BYOB to talk a little shit about the crypto industry with our expert friends and guests. And tonight I am joined, as usual, by my good friends and co-hosts, Mr. Alex Popovich and the Blue Banana. Give it up for Mr. William Watson. Man. That's a sight for sore eyes.
You know, I loved the first comments immediately in TikTok. The dolphin is back. Yes, Will. Dude, William's fucking hilarious. Prime William Watson is back before we got GTA 6.
Yeah, oh shit. The dolphin is back. We're thrilled.
Yeah,
I don't
bring this out for nothing. You know, this is a special episode, and I'm already sweating profusely in this.
Okay, well, if you've got questions, suggestions, good jokes, words of wisdom, or predictions for how long Will can keep that dolphin costume up, let us know. Alex, you're joining us from parts unknown. How are you?
Good. I'm out in Washington somewhere, near Gig Harbor. It's absolutely beautiful, but good to be here on the porch. I have a prime view of the bird feeder, so if I have to stop and log a bird, I was going to apologize, but I'm not sorry at all about it. But it's Evan, it's great to be back with you, and Will, you're here, aren't you?
I certainly am, Alex, my fine land-based mammal friends.
I do have to say though, I can't be all mad, because the moment when I was trying in vain to put together a professional package for that was being sent to Polygon leadership about the campaign that we had run, and talks about future work. I'm going through our list of episodes, and I'm like, wow, we had this one episode with Aishwarya Gupta. He's excellent. It was a great episode. We talked about all sorts of stuff. It's where the iconic correct sound on the soundboard comes from. I was like, all right, I'm going to send him that episode. And so I texted him first. I was like, hey, I've got one more for you. It's a great one. It's the one with Aishwarya. Here's the link. I go to YouTube to grab it. I open it, and I realize in real time, Will is dressed like a fucking banana for the entire episode. And
baby.
Every single clip from that show has Will in his dolphin blue banana costume. And I was like, you know what? I deserve this. And
come for him.
Wait, wrong one.
I guess regardless of how it went, we're not working with Polygon right now, so, draw your own conclusions.
All I'm saying is Polygon worked with us and was paying us money while I was a dolphin / blue banana, and then when
That's
I
true.
wasn't, they no longer. So
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Okay, all right. Everybody who's tuning in from the White Whales profile or from Facebook, from Twitter, from TikTok, thank you for being here. I want to remind you that we are live every Wednesday, but you can catch us wherever you are, whenever you listen on your favorite social or podcast platform. We've got 4 great shows, and all of them live at RumsHQ, RUMSHQ.com. It's the link in bio wherever you are, whenever you listen. We would love your help in telling a better story about crypto, and tonight, the story continues. I will waste no time in introducing our illustrious guests. They are from the depths, fresh off the press, on the news of the Sat Rush protocol launch. Very cool. For the very first time appearing on any platform anywhere, I am pleased to welcome our friend, the White Whale, and with him from the White Whale Labs, Whale Quix. Gentlemen, welcome to Rise Up After Dark. How you guys doing?
Good. Great to be here. Although I have to say, I logged on and saw Will sweating profusely in that dolphin costume and almost immediately logged back off.
None of us would have blamed you.
I knew that was a potential possibility, but I also knew you'd kind of like it.
A couple of sea creatures just palling around together. We're going to get right into it, but I forgot to explain one little thing backstage, and that is that every time you hear this sound on Rise Up After Dark, it means that somebody speaking or somebody we are speaking about has received a point. And every time you hear this sound, it means somebody speaking or somebody we are speaking about has received a gwump and lost a point. At the end of the night, somebody who wins the most points and gets the fewest gwumps will win some canned applause and our appreciation and the right to brag about it until next week. So with that out of the way, welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for making time to be here. The questions are already rolling in. Hey, the white whale. We've got the goat. Welcome. OMG, just bring them up. Tori says they're here. And also lots and lots of questions. Let's start with just some introductions. Mr. Whale, will you go first? And then Quix, I'm going to come to you. Tell us a little about who you are and what you do for the folks back home.
Sure. Yeah, I came from a business background and spent a lot of years in Web 2 and e-commerce and created a business ultimately to give myself freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, all the aspirations that people have when they launch a business. And I realized after almost 20 years that the exact opposite had happened. I'd become a slave to my creation. And I said, enough. There's too much life to live. I'm going to do something different. And that's when I decided that crypto was going to be my full-time job.
Yeah, excellent. And that's when we got to meet. We've spent a lot of time together in and out of the blockchain, and you've been on a lot of your own adventures. But now you've got SatRush, and that seems like a good place to bring Quix in. Quix, tell us a little about who you are, what you've been doing, and what you're doing now.
Thank you, Evan. Appreciate the invite also to Rise Up After Dark. Big fan. Also saw those banana clips of Will as well on the timeline. I was curious about the story behind that, so thank you, Alex. But my name is Quix. Most people know me in the ecosystem as the Fox. Oh, I got a ding. Let's go. We're up right now. Fox. And I've been building in the Solana ecosystem for the past few years now. Prior to this, I was working at Red Bull. I left that secure lifestyle for the wild world of Web3. And it's taken me all around the world, speaking at Solana events, and now getting to join the White Whale Labs team. I've always seen him as such a prominent figure in the ecosystem. I love everything that he's done and tried to accelerate the space. And so joining his team and learning from him is a huge honor. And look, we're already on the Rise Up After Dark show, so extremely bullish to be here.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about the day's news, which is, of course, SatRush. If you're playing along at home and you haven't seen it yet, or you need to check it out, then the URL you need to know is satrush.io, or you can head over to X and find them at satrush.io. Earlier today on the Rise Up Morning Show, we screened this trailer featuring what seemed suspiciously like crypto Sam Elliott. I was a big fan of that. And then we did a little screen share, but I would love for you guys just to tell us what went on today. Give us an introduction to this protocol, SatRush. And
wait, Will, you want to take it away
first? Why don't you take it first?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So SatRush is a gamified Bitcoin mining protocol. I've always been a firm believer that, crypto needs to be fun and exciting and accessible for the masses. And, gamification goes a long way to that end. This is a problem that I've been thinking about since January. I was involved in other projects at that time and distracted, but I've spent a lot of hours, trying to rework and say, what would be the new and improved gamified mining protocol if I were to build one. And I spent months, an embarrassing amount of time on this problem and kept banging my head against the wall. And then literal shower thought one day was, why do you need a token? Why not just mine Bitcoin? And the second that light bulb went off in my head, I assembled the team and we made a mad dash to create this thing.
Excellent. And Quix, that's where you come in. I'd love to hear your perspective on the journey to this product.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I really appreciate the opportunity for White Whale Labs for this first launch for SatRush. And for those that didn't know, it's an on-chain Bitcoin mining game. And it's really simple to play. You just your Solana wallet, you're holding USDC, you connect and you start rushing. To me, exactly like White Whale said, the whole problem I've seen with previous predecessors is that the babysitting of the token. And it just made sense to me as soon as it was explained mining Bitcoin on Solana and being able to earn yield on that, as well as the hash rate system that we've integrated with, which I'm sure we're going to go over in a little bit, that you're able to spend your hash rates on vaults. The first Epoch had just dropped earlier today. We were really excited about that as well. And so, yeah, it's really fun. Working with White Whale Labs and the design team has been an incredible experience. We hope that you guys appreciate all the mechanics of the game and the design, as well as a lot of cool things we have planned upcoming for SatRush and our marketing campaigns.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just like to add, it's so nice. Like we've been talking about for years now, how like so many dApps will come out and they'll have their own altcoin, and then we're just kind of screaming to the world, being like, no, like this is great for the bull market. Once the bear market comes, this is all gone. Like just have it be like the base network coin. Like for your building on Solana, have it be Solana, or on Ethereum, or best solution of all, have it be Bitcoin. You know, so many of the things that are built in crypto, if it has a gamble point to it, or even if it's not gambling in any way, shape, or form, or it's not mining, or even mining in some cases, you're just getting some speculative asset that might be a little positive blip on the radar during the green of a bull run, but then after that just falls off to oblivion, with the exceptions of a few things like Solana and Ethereum and a few others. But being able to build something that rewards people in my personal opinion, the only proven investment in crypto, which is Bitcoin, I think you can argue against Ethereum and Solana, but I think their arguments for them are also pretty strong. But like, it's really nice, and I'm glad to like be a part of trying to on-ramp that idea, so that when people build more things, they can just be like, oh, yeah, it's Bitcoin. We do this thing, and then you'll get rewards in Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, like something that is more tangible than most of the space, which is just vaporware.
Yeah. What that was the shower epiphany, but there's a lot of different thought that goes into how to do an integration, whether it's your token or another token. And I've got the protocol pulled up. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
You remember back in the day when we were trying to get Glass for Breakfast off the ground? And
do I ever?
I was I was sitting through a ton of different grant proposal interviews and funding interviews and all this kind of stuff, trying to raise some money to do this thing, and talked to a whole bunch of different ecosystems. Talked to Solana, talked to Avalanche, talked to Base, talked to Core, all this kind of stuff. And all these different people asked me the same series of questions every time. And it was like, all right, what's the token plan? And I was like, I'll be honest, I'd rather just use USDC or your native token. I'd rather just use AVAX or DOT or Sol or whatever. And everyone was like, wow, that's a great idea. Never been pitched like that before. I was like, oh, cool. So that sounds good. Let's do it. We don't have to worry about, some shitty token plummeting. And they were like, yeah, no, it's going to be a no from us, dog. And then I would never hear from them again, inevitably. So it's really nice to see something coming out that uses native tokens to do cool shit.
Yeah. You guys want to see the platform? I would love to show people who haven't seen it yet, and also get into the nitty gritty of like how it works, what the game theory is. If you want to play along at home, the place to go is satrush.io. I've got it here on the screen for people in podcast land. Somebody assist me with a little screen share and I'll make you zoomed large. Tell me a little more about what we're looking at here. And note, this is a self-custody platform. You connect a wallet. I've got a social wallet connected right here so that we can start to participate. But Quix, can you drive me through this dashboard, everything we're looking at? I see kind of the number grid you were talking about, but what should I click? Where should we go? What do we see?
100%. Let's get started. So you're already connected with your Solana wallet. You're looking right now at the 21 tile honeycomb, which is paying homage to the 21 million Bitcoin. On the right side also is going to be where, and on the right side, here you're going to see your auto and manual for deployment. So this is where you're going to be able to choose the amount of USDC, the amount of tiles that you want to deploy on, and the amount of rounds. And then right there, you can choose to check the auto reload, which will continue to deploy the USDC so that you can continue mining. We also have the manual option as well, but I always prefer the auto miner. I'm actually mining right now as that's going on, so you can get that set up. And a lot of people already in the community are creating like different types of strategies. But if you go up to the top of the screen really quick, you're going to see right now you don't have a balance, but as you start mining, you're going to earn HR, the hash rate, that little green emblem on the top. And then if you click on the vaults, or you can see them right there, but if you click on the vaults tab, that's going to take you to the 3 vaults that we have. The first is the Sat Strike, which deploys very much like people have experienced in previous mining games before at random, and it will deploy to all the tile winners. You have the 2 other vaults now, which are really unique and I'm really excited about. The first is the Epoch Vault, which deploys every 72 hours. And the 1 BTC vault, which deploys once it's accumulated 1 full Bitcoin.
Okay,
to enter these.
Can I slow you down just real quick and make sure I understand?
100%.
So the Sat Strike, you're saying that this accumulates and totally randomly, this pays out to a square sometime in 1 round.
Yes. There's no timer.
What goes into like the randomization, and also where does this pot come from?
So a portion of the fees is distributed to the Sat Strike, the Epoch Vault, the 1 BTC, the revenue for the project. So everything's incorporated through the fees, and we're not buying back a token. Remember that we're using CBTC, the sats for this game. As far as the randomness goes, that's all generated. And well, White Whale, I don't want to speak. I don't want to misspeak on this. Actually, I wish one of our developers were here to speak more on that. But can you give a little bit more light on this?
Yeah, so you made a good point. The funding for the 3 vaults comes from the protocol fee. The protocol fee is 8%, which is about 40% less than what we see in the gamified mining sphere. And the vast majority of that 8% funds the Sat Strike vault, the Epoch Vault, and the 1 BTC vault.
So you're saying of every dollar I put into this, about 8 cents of it goes to this?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So the Sat Strike is random. It's pulled on a random number generator. The odds are 1 in 997. There's about 1,440 rounds approximately in a day. So, the intentionality is we hope that it hits about once a day, but it might hit twice a day. It might hit 3 times, or it might, take a couple days to hit. The Epoch Vault is different, which, it just simply accumulates and triggers on a 72-hour cadence. There's 21 winners. Position number 1 takes, the lion's share, the 30%, and works all the way down to position number 21. The 1 BTC vault is 1 winner. And this was really inspired for me by all of the probably thousands of comments that I've seen online in my time in crypto of everybody wishing, like, I hope one day to be able to own 1 whole Bitcoin. And so, creating a 1 Bitcoin vault that has a single winner to give somebody that life-changing opportunity to say, yes, I do own 1 whole Bitcoin was really important to us.
Very cool. And you'll see down here, we've got 55 participants contributing 2,711 total entries. I have 0 entries. I sensed Quix, that's where you were going next, was the hash rate points. But I also want to highlight before we get there that we are already on day 1 of this protocol, already from these fees, 9% of the way there, like almost a 10th of the way there. Somebody, if we keep on at this pace or we grow, is going to get a Bitcoin in like 10 days. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's really cool.
It's probably going to be faster than that.
So
too.
exciting. We're almost at 0.1.
Wow. Okay, so tell me more about the hash rate points, and maybe would it be good for me to like do a round? I see that the rounds go off once per minute, so it's a really fast-paced accumulation game.
Yeah, we're on 60-second rounds.
Exactly, every 60 seconds, and then to earn.
Go ahead, Quix.
Oh, sorry. No, I was saying exactly that, that we're on every 60-second rounds. And to earn the hash rates, which you need to enter into the Epoch Vault and the BTC Vault, you need to mine. So I would say, absolutely, Evan, let's start getting that auto miner or the manual set up, start deploying so you can start earning some hash rate.
Now, help me understand so I don't math this up. It looks like I've got about $800 in this wallet, and I probably don't want to spend it all, but I'd like to play a couple of rounds. So is this do it? He says. Do it. If I put $100 max, well, it's I see. Look, cost per round. Okay, let's do the next 10 minutes. We'll do 10 rounds. I'll do $10 a round, kind of thing. And I am curious if you could just tell me a little more about the strategy here. I know that the square that is the winner pays the reward. So can you talk a little about the math of the reward and, the strategy of choosing maybe one tile roulette wheel or covering all the tiles? What's the game theory there?
Sure, I can take that. There's really a couple different types of players. There's the long-term EV player who's in it to stack Bitcoin, to take advantage of the amazing APR that is available on the stack Bitcoin. And they want to, set their auto miner and run it 24/7. Those people typically cover all tiles. That's a really good strategy for, playing the game longer term. Then there's the type of user that, looks for outsized reward opportunities maybe a little bit more frequently. They'll take a look at the board, see that maybe certain blocks are under allocated and position themselves on an under-allocated block for a chance of potentially higher reward. However, that comes with the risk of if your block is not selected, obviously you win nothing. And so, it really depends on what type of user you are. Whether you want to play some, or all is completely up to you.
Excellent. So I'm definitely the kind of guy who wants to cover the whole board. I like the idea of accumulating Bitcoin. I've put in $100 over 10 rounds, so $10 a round. And what's this auto reload here?
Each round, especially
that'll
if you're
deploy the
covering
USDC back into round.
Oh, okay. So
sorry.
if I win USDC rewards, then they get auto deploy. It's sort of like selling back a pack on Collector Crypt kind of thing. It just automatically sells it back. Keeps the Bitcoin though? Quix?
Correct.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. You'll still earning the sats.
I kind of like that. So it's basically a way to ensure that I'm converting all my USDC into Bitcoin. When I first heard about this idea, that's something I said to the guys. I said, honestly, it sounds like a gamified way to DCA Bitcoin with a chance to get more. And I'm going to go ahead and deploy this right now. But I'm curious, White Whale, you mentioned the APR. Can you talk a little about the mechanics here that are designed to give people who keep their sats here and continue to spread their tokens and so on to earn an APR and like what that looks like? Because that's my favorite part.
Mine too, honestly. It's a beautiful game of the, impatient pay the patient. And so, all of the Bitcoin that you mine through the protocol is available to you as a reward. And you'll see that pop on your screen within the next 60 seconds as you just started mining. Claiming it has a 10% exit tax. That exit tax is not taken by the protocol. That's given to the people who have yet to claim. And so, the APR can be pretty significant because everybody wants to claim their winnings at different periods in time. Some people are going to let it sit in there until bull market all-time highs. People who are really, vault driven and driven by the outsized reward vaults are typically going to claim it much faster and then recycle it, sell their Bitcoin back into USDC so they can continue playing the game. And the beautiful thing about this is that, there's a symbiosis between both types of players. The people who are looking for the short-term rewards, the outsized rewards, and the people who are stacking long-term. This protocol serves both of those equally well.
Awesome. Thank you.
So question for you, and hopefully my audio is okay. Let's say Evan puts $100 in and he doesn't use the auto reload. So $100 in and he's like, okay, cool, I'm done for now. Does he get $100 worth of Bitcoin in that, or is it not quite a one-to-one pairing?
It's not quite one-to-one pairing because there's a lot of different math that goes into it. So let's just say that you're the only player, right? Because different players deploying differently on different blocks could change the outcome. Let's say you're the only player covering all 21 available options. The basic fundamental math is that you will win because your block will be selected. You'll get 80% of the USDC that you deployed into the round back to you. 12% of that USDC will be returned to you as Bitcoin, and then 8% are the protocol fees, of which the vast majority go to fund those 3 vaults.
Real quick, let me interject to say, Will, we're already 2 rounds down, and you can see every round I deployed $10, and I've recovered from that about $8 and so many cents. The rest, that's in. I got some Sats down here, and then I've got these
3,000 Bitcoin.
Dude, those are my sats. But if you're a believer in like the long-term benefit of Bitcoin, like who wouldn't trade 10 fiat dollars for $8 of Bitcoin? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the chance to win more. I mean, that's killer. That's absolutely killer. Especially when, you mentioned that the impatient people pay the patient people, and everybody who sticks around potentially has an opportunity to win a greater reward. Like it's just such a, I forget what they say, they call it in game theory, like a 3-3 or a positive sum or whatever, but the incentives are very aligned.
Well, Evan, you'll see that already. And a certain whale may have just clicked redeem on his account just so you could have the live demo and immediately get some bonus sats. I don't know who that would be, but
I do see the bonus sats. I was at 33 and now I'm at 47. So here we go, baby.
So yeah, a little bit down from the section that you're in, you'll see, how much you've mined in Bitcoin and then the additional bonus sats that you've received.
Wow, look at this. For podcast land, it says Sats APR 2,505%. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. And also over here, we had a question on YouTube come through just a moment ago that I wanted to touch because it seems relevant to this part here. This comes from Supafanzo. Thanks, Supafanzo, for the question. They wanted to know if you guys are planning to release analytics or historical data so that players can refine their strategies over time, maybe try to, pick that hot number, or do you want every round to remain completely unpredictable? That's for you, WW.
Yeah, no, we're going to release everything very transparently. In all honesty, our targeted release date was actually Monday, but we were doing some last minute polish work. And some of the things didn't make launch day, like our very detailed history page that will be rolling out in the next couple of days. So we have a roadmap. You'll see a lot of improvements and cool new things added to the protocol as time goes on. But as often is the case in crypto, there are benefits to being early.
I see you've got this history tab here that has the game history. It says every round and vault draw as they settle on chain. So Supafanzo, this is what you want to see. We've already played 3,886 rounds. This really reminds me of like a easier to read version of a blockchain explorer and or like a mempool looking at all the different Bitcoin blocks that have been mined. It shows you what tile was chosen as the winner, how much money was deployed across the round, how many people were mining, how many people won. It looks like, for podcast land, of 41 players in the last round, 37 were winners. So it looks like a lot of people are choosing to use my strategy of covering every square. That's very cool.
On the other side, I opted to go with less than half. So I did 10. I picked 10 tiles. So I've had, a couple go through that didn't clear, but so far I have to say, so I only did $1 per round for 10 rounds with 10 squares chosen, or 10 paths chosen. And so far the rate is, I'm up $2.46 on my $10 because of getting a few that are picked with the not every square selected. So I'm a fan.
Hey, profit is profit.
Amen.
Things like this, Mr. Whale, typically come out at the very tippy top of bull markets when people are then lose money holding on to the big. Not at bear markets. What are you doing trying to help people? Ridiculous. Don't you know this is crypto?
The reason the team has not slept for the last 30 days on our final sprint is because getting, this released at bear market prices was really important to me. Accumulating Bitcoin now when you should be accumulating Bitcoin not FOMOing in when we hit 100K again, but getting down now at bear market prices, I think is going to give people the most advantage using the protocol. So getting this released now is actually, very important to us.
Now, I want to hear more about the team, and Quix, I'm going to come to you for that in a second, but a comment I saw a couple times this morning and that I've seen a few times now, and I appreciate everybody asking this, like Handball Kansas City, is this is just a casino, they say. We're just gambling. And I don't necessarily see it that way. I think there's a gambling type component, but I really do see it as a way to DCA. And I'm just curious how you think about it, because I know you guys both. So I know you're not necessarily interested in just making a slot machine, but how do you see this, and what do you say to people who say that as a criticism? This is just gambling.
Well, can I take a crack at it before? Sure. Yeah. Before, and then correct me if I'm wrong. This is just based on my first impression here, but I would say so. There's clearly a gamble component, like you said, but it's not. It doesn't strike me as being quite the same as taking a chunk of money that you're willing to gamble on XYZ, whatever, and there's a gajillion protocols to choose from to gamble on all kinds of stuff. And, taking that chunk, let's call it, lump sum A, and contributing all of lump sum A to the chance to win more, and then either losing lump sum A or winning whatever you had the chance for. And this is more like take lump sum A, off of that, lop a little piece, gamble with the piece, convert the rest straight back into the original thing. So you're kind of like propping up a smaller slice of what you're playing with as the gamble component, and then the rest of it is just going into Bitcoin. So you're like Evan said, if you think about it like a DCA into Bitcoin, there's the DCA component, and you get a little bit less than you are paying for. And with that little bit less slice off the top, that's the piece that goes into the gamble pot to play the casino game for the potential bigger prize.
What do you say, Mr. Whale? I saw you wanted to take that question before Alex started.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair question, and one I've seen about 36 times today, and that's okay. I think it really depends on what lens you look at it under. One could make the same argument about the entirety of our space. In fact, in this space, we literally have something called the meme coin casino, right? And so, gambling, okay, yeah, but that's, what we're doing here in crypto is we're speculating on assets, right? The way I look at it and the lens I look at it under is, this is a Bitcoin accumulation machine that offers a couple features and benefits that nobody else offers. You could go on to your centralized exchange of choice or DEX and buy Bitcoin and pay a fee to buy that Bitcoin, right? We are simply charging a slightly higher premium to buy that Bitcoin, and we're giving you a chance for rewards, for some outsized rewards. Some, great job. Thanks for being our customer. Here's an unexpected, surprise of the day. And the Bitcoin that you accumulate through the protocol has an APR mechanism that you cannot access without interacting through the protocol. So the premium that you pay is, a premium that allows you to get these outsized rewards and allows you access to this incredibly high APR. And so, that's the lens I look at it under.
Yeah, and this is pretty cool. Given that I picked, and I just randomly picked it, I realized if I cleared the whole board and just clicked plus to add slides, then it would just pick one for me, and I didn't have to take the burden of choice. But I mean, this is double from the original $10. I mean, the win balance is 10.19. There's still 8.56 left, but then the Sats bid is another $1.53, and this was just off of the original $10 plus gas. So that's pretty sweet, I have to say. I'm excited to keep tinkering with this thing.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to say as well, because you see comments here, because it's like, this kind of thing has to be built where more people lose than win is the comment. And it's like, yeah, like there's a fee that gets taken out, and so it's like you will get less of a dollar's worth of Bitcoin than the dollar you put in, but the value of Bitcoin, historically speaking, goes up as well, right? So most of this crypto industry is gambling today. I mean, it's maybe not most, but a very large percentage of this is gambling or speculation if you want to separate the two, right? It's very much so the space. And so to have a solution that at least rewards you instead of a vaporware altcoin that's also most likely a Ponzi scheme and house of cards that's about to knock down after they're done with their 100-page shill influencer campaign on TikTok and Instagram. Instead of that, like, you're being given Bitcoin. If this was coming out at the top of a bull market, odds are people who are getting that Bitcoin, which is less than the dollars they're putting in, they're going to be in the hole, and they're going to be in worse of a hole as that goes on. Right now, we're at near close to the end of a bear market, right? I think no matter how you look at it or who you ask for the most part. And so the odds are of, yeah, the money you go in, you're going to get a little bit less Bitcoin, right? But then that value of Bitcoin, air quotes, should appreciate, you know? So that's the thing. It is gambling, yes, but you're gambling with an asset that is supposed to, your reward is an asset that appreciates.
Not to mention you're paying a fee every round, and so are the people who, if you hold your tokens, are withdrawing. They're paying a fee into this pot too. So it's not necessarily that somebody is just losing $1 so you can make $1. It's that everybody is paying something for the service that is provided by the venue, so that depending on how you play the game, you can win. I think there are definitely some confusions maybe around like how it works. I saw Sevish, good friend of the show, was saying I put money in and I didn't get anything back. And so I wonder if there's a learning curve of, you know, maybe he was betting on a single tile, that kind of thing. But you know, it seems like a positive some way to do something a little better. And I'm not far be it from me to defend gambling, but as proponents of building better with what this technology allows us to do for pretty much anything, be that money or gambling or coordination and identity, as Ski points out in the comments, good to see you, brother. This is better odds than Vegas. So we're adding the velocity of crypto, the store of value of Bitcoin, the best hedge against inflation that's ever been invented, to a gamified way to dollar cost average and pay a fee to win a little more. That's, you know, probably not something I'm going to play every day. I'll probably keep DCAing on River, but I would absolutely spend some time and some money that I might otherwise spend in the meme coin casino here.
But I think that's kind of the point that we make constantly with all sorts of stuff. Like you said, Will, there's a bajillion different things you can gamble on. It's crypto after all. And the only part that's ever pissed me off about it is when, and I say this all the time, this isn't new if you've seen the show before, the only part that pisses me off is when we obfuscate the gamble portion, or we lie about what is the gamble or what isn't a gamble, or like, hey, what do you have the chance for? Like, someone made a comment about the meme coins. You know, obviously I don't think anyone would say that's anything other than a slot machine. I always say I take it a step further. It's a slot machine with a guy standing next to it with a baseball bat trying to hit you in the face, but you're wearing a blindfold while you're pulling the lever. Like, it's the worst slot machine ever. And as long as you take the thing, and there's a gamble component, and it's like, here's the gamble part, here's the other part, here's whatever, here's the full picture. Go forth and make a decision. Here's your choice. Off you go. I mean, we've been talking about these gotchas on all these different TCG platforms for the last how long? I have won a few really high value cards out of those. I've also lost 60% of the value of the pack in one pull many times over. That's a straight gamble. You know, but tons of people are enjoying playing that, and you know, it's a gamble. There's a whole bunch of different things. It's as long as we're talking about a gamble piece with a transparent optic into exactly what part is the gamble and what you're gambling, what you stand to risk and what you stand to gain, then it's on the consumer and the user to make an informed choice. And the only thing you can do is, if you don't like it, you don't like it, you know? But I don't know, no one's got a gun to your head.
Also, if
Can I hop in here
gamble...
really quick?
Oh, go for it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Alex, that was such a great point. And I've been in the space for a long time, and I've seen the gambling argument made for looking at some of the top revenue generating dApps for gacha machines, for prediction markets. People could argue for perpetual trading, even for spot trading, technically, if a lot of it is speculative. And Solana can see a price drop of 10% in one day. And so to me, exactly like was just described before, this is a gamified DCA mechanism with two of the most well-known, stable, liquid assets on the planet, on arguably the best blockchain that exists for this type of platform. And yeah, we are really excited to give people the opportunity to not only earn yield on Bitcoin, but also possibly enter in to win one full Bitcoin themselves. That's always been such a dream of a lot of people I know, becoming a full coiner and taking part in the amazing ecosystem. And the earlier question about building. We're excited to definitely launch different types of campaigns and activations to encourage people to build on top of it. I'm sure people are going to want to create their own type of bots and their own strategies, and that's amazing. And then circling back to Evan's question originally about the team, which we never got into, was Beard, the Fox, the Whale. I'm not sure what animal our dev is, and then Owl, of course. Everyone here has been in the space for a long time, and we wouldn't want to bring something nefarious to the ecosystem. We want to make sure that Solana wins, and you can see it already in the actions that we've been doing in the first day, and really excited for what comes next. But just wanted to pop in there about this hot topic because I know that's something that gets asked a lot, and I've had to also answer quite a bit today as well.
I will say for the naysayers in the comments, just because somebody has good intentions and has been here a long time, it does not preclude them from doing wrong, nor does building a more efficient way to gamble preclude crypto from being a revolutionary technology. I think in all things, nuance is important, and I'm here for the criticism because I'm here for the revolution. I don't say that to pick on you, Quix. I know you, man, but not everybody does. And I think it's better that you guys would show up and answer these, questions from people like that, because that means we're having like a participatory dialogue, a discussion, that kind of thing. I think that's always what our space needs, is for people to show up and tell a better story.
Here's one thing I want to add as well. It's like collector crypt is gambling also, That's the first thing my brother said when I showed it to him. He's like, oh, so it's gambling. Yeah, it's gambling for Pokemon cards and One Piece cards and sports cards and also comic books and now watches and other things.
Alex jumping in to defend his addiction.
Unless you're Alex.
No, I'm not going to defend it at all. I know exactly what it is. And actually, the monetization model of something like that is very flagrant and very in your face, which is one of the reasons I don't have a problem with it, because you look at it for 5 seconds, you're like, oh my God, I buy a $100 pack, I get a $40 card, I sell it back to Collector Crypt at $36. I immediately buy it back again for another $100 because it's blind and it went straight back into the pot. Like, I am under no illusion that is not gambling. Okay, that is straight gambling. You're just hoping. All of those different ones with the different odds and whatever, sure. Listen, take it from a guy who pulled 300 packs in a row without a single epic that you're supposed to be able to get 1% of the time. The odds are bullshit. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm very aware of what is gambling and what is not. And I will say it again. Machinery had a couple comments, and I know that he and I have gone back and forth enough to be objective about criticism. So I want to try one more time just to phrase my gambling point. There was a comment, if this had a token attached to it, you wouldn't be into it. That's correct.
Correct.
Exactly, dude.
Correct, 100%.
I don't understand how you're bashing on meme coins, but you like something like this. Here's the thing with the meme coins. I don't bash meme coins as a whole. Anybody who's been around this space for a while, even just the last few years, knows that the meme coin game has changed significantly from when SHIB and Pepe and all those other things were launching back in like 2019, 2020, 2021, whatever. Now, it's extremely different. We do not have these like fair launch meme campaigns. They don't work that way. It's a specifically engineered product using a meme coin as a blanket to cover up theft. It's extremely different than taking a bet on a silly meme and hoping that you picked right. So that's the problem. That's my issue. It's not an issue with meme coins as a whole. It's an issue with a specific methodology, specifically the one that Pump Fund uses to run tokens. It just cannot work. It's scientifically impossible for it to work. And we see it time and time and time and time and time again. So the difference here is that I can see the gamble component. It's very obvious to me very quickly. And if I didn't want to gamble anything, I wouldn't do it. I would just go buy Bitcoin somewhere else. And 99% of the time, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, yep, I buy my Bitcoin every week. I'm not going to buy it this way. I'm going to buy it the way I always buy it to get what I pay for. But I'm going to probably take like 10, 15 bucks and sit there and let it run over here. Because I am not going to lie, I like to play the games. I have a problem. Call me whatever you want. I gamble. Loser. Evan and I used to stay up late and have a couple drinks and play the meme coin slots on Deck Screener, trading on the 1 second chart, getting rugged, and like once in a while you'd get one and it would work. That's straight gambling. I'm in Vegas, So, I don't know. If you like crypto, the whole point of it is freedom with your money, but you should be aware of what you're doing. You should be hyper aware of what you're doing, and you should be able to verify what you're doing. You shouldn't have to take someone's word for something that this is indeed how it's working. So my issues exclusively are with people who hide what's happening behind some centralized bullshit to lie and manipulate me into sacrificing money that I don't think I am gambling. But I have no issue with someone making a conscious decision to gamble and putting money at risk and then living with the consequences of their own actions. I support your right to do that.
I will absolutely die on this.
Now, if you're just tuning in, I want to thank you for being here with us. We've got Quix and the White Whale from the White Whale Labs. I also see team member Owl in the comments. Great to be here with you. If you have got a question, we are talking about the new protocol, SatRush. You can find it at satrush.io or satrush.io. Here's how I'd like to take this is I would like to move to a couple of different features of the platform we haven't touched yet, most specifically the hash rate tickets, Quix. And then we have some rapid fire questions from the comments. And then I'd like to invite your final thoughts on the protocol because it's just day one. We're going to have you back to talk about it and check in. But we also have a ton of questions for the White Whale. This is his first live appearance. And if you've got a question, we invite you to leave it in the comments wherever you are, whenever you listen. And if you have a question, but you can't join us live, then good news, you can leave a comment in the future. If you're listening in the future, we hope your candles are green. Send an email to questions@rumshq.com or catch up with us where the show lives 24/7. I'm talking about the link in bio, community.rumshq.com. We would love to see you there. Now, it does look like Quix might be having some buffering issues. So, Mr. Whale, while we wait for him to come back, I have got some tickets here that I'm hoping have appreciated in value more than Alex's. And I'm wondering if you could just kind of talk me through, first, just a quick question about minimums. What is the minimum spend to participate in a round?
The minimum spend is $1 per round, and that it doesn't matter if you deploy that across 21 blocks or a single block. The per round fee is $1. And we had to establish minimums because there's a real cost on Solana to run this, program on the blockchain. And if we made the minimums too small, we could, be bankrupted by a bad actor that, just spammed us with fractions of pennies, right? So the minimum is $1 per round. It looks like your question is about your hash rate points. If you scroll to the top of your screen, you should be able to see your total hash rate balance.
Here we go. Oh, looks like I've got 25.2 hash rate points. Look at me. I'm becoming a hash rate whale.
Love it. So those hash rate points are used to enter our 1BTC Vault or Epoch Vault drawings. You can spend as many or as little as you want. You can enter one, you can enter both. That is completely up to you, sir.
Okay, and do I click the button to spend them, or where do I go to do this?
You can click on the vaults page at the top, or you can click the arrow next to each individual vaulter. So click on the Epoch Vault or the 1BTC Vault.
Oh,
and
I'm
on
going
your right
to the
side of your
BTC Vault.
screen. There you go.
Got
And
it.
so
Okay, I see.
Simply select how many of your hash rate points you want to spend on entries and click buy entries.
Do it all.
Dude, I'm going all the way. I'm trying to win this whole Bitcoin, dude. Could you imagine if I won a whole Bitcoin from
If
SatRush?
you did, the trust in this platform would fall through the roof. I know it's still you ran. It'd be like
100%.
Evan got
I
the
would have to
Bitcoin?
give it back. I would have to give it back. You
would
know what I'm
have to
saying?
give it back.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? Oh,
Look at this
that'd be
fool.
terrible.
Look at his fool
We had
using up
the-
all his hash rate.
Don't come for me.
We had the same conversation internally today because we were all doing some live testing. And the Epoch Vault that drew today, we all had a couple tickets in here on the team. And we were talking in the Telegram group right before the drawing, like, oh my God, please don't let us win. Please don't let us win.
Oh, that's just crazy. Yeah, the winner is the White Whale. And sorry about that. Play again next time, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Hash rate. So that was a question people had. I've got 27 tickets in now, which seems like a good number. I'd like to accumulate more. Let me ask you this. As you think about what you hope to see in the future of the platform, and Quix, I'd love to bring you back in here because I see you're with us again. Can you tell me like where are we going next? I know this is just V1. We're hoping to roll out some new features for V2. And then I would invite you, if there's anything we didn't ask you about in that, to share what you'd like to. And then White Whale, I'll come to you next for a sort of a final thought on Hash Rush, last things to explore. Sat Rush, my God. For now, before we get into some other questions. Quix, where's it going in the next month, year, etc.?
So so sorry about the connections. Been having issues, but I'm
good.
traveling back to the USA this weekend to be there for Mountain Dow for upcoming events that we have. Shout out Super Team USA, and really excited also to be back on Eastern Standard Time. Oh yeah. For the future, V2, we have a lot of things that didn't make V1 that we're really excited about. More reward mechanisms, new swapping mechanisms, and there's a lot of things that we want to incorporate that we didn't get a chance to push for this version. But so much is in the pipeline. As on top of that, you're just going to be seeing SatRush and White Whale Labs more prominently in the ecosystem, supporting events, creators. Really, really excited for what we have planned. This is only day one, and I appreciate all the support that we've gotten from everyone in the ecosystem. You know, Solana and so many different teams and projects have reached out to us, and that's also what we're excited about, is to work with specific like teams, projects, and try to just, again, help accelerate SatRush, the ecosystem, Solana, and try to onboard some more Bitcoiners to Solana. I think that there's like a lot of ordinal communities and Bitcoin purists that are going to find this really fun and interesting. And I'm also excited about the Michael Whaler character. That's something that I'm very excited to keep developing, because he's forever bullish. Get whalish.
Michael Whaler?
Yeah, Michael Whaler. He believes in the idea of acquiring all 21 million Bitcoins on the Solana blockchain. Like, what would happen in that sense? And, he's always bullish. Michael Saylor has created a strategy to sell 5 billion Bitcoin, but Michael Whaler is extremely bullish and looking to accumulate more, specifically on Solana. And so that's a really exciting character that we're working with, and we hope the community finds fun.
Michael Whaler on the board with 1 point. Okay, killer. Quix, do you have any other? I'm scanning the questions here. I don't think I've missed anything about the protocol. Do you have one? Go ahead, help me out. We have a lot of great comments here tonight, and I really appreciate it.
This one is from Chris, aka Excited Stoic, which, just for the record, love that dude. One of the OGs, like in line with Tori as far as listening to the show. Just have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Curious about a potential mobile app in the future.
Can we expect one, Quix? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, that's I'm extremely bullish not only on the app but on Seeker, specifically the dApp. So that's something I'm definitely pushing for. I think that the Solana mobile and what they're doing right now with Seeker season would be amazing to see SatRush as one of the featured badges for the week. So in the pipeline, maybe, but we definitely have a lot more distribution coming up. The app is something that the team is definitely talking about, and hopefully we make progress on real soon.
Very cool. And Quix, do you have sort of a final thought that you would give for this platform? We've covered a lot of ground tonight, and I just appreciate you so much for being here. But if there's anything I didn't ask you guys about that you think is important before I kick it to the White Whale for the same question, anything at all, what would that be?
You know, I'm sure I'll think of something right after, but I truly appreciate you having us on here, the Rise Up After Dark show. All you guys are amazing hosts. I love your content, and we appreciate all the support that we've gotten in the ecosystem today. Please give us feedback. Please let us know what you love, what you hate, what you want to see differently. The team is reading basically every single comment, every single reply. We're extremely accessible, so please reach out to us. And we have more comms coming this week, so it's going to be a fun week and upcoming future as we make our way onwards and upwards towards Breakpoint. So appreciate you having us here, and I'll pass it over to White Whale.
Well, really quick, Mr. Whale, before you do, I got to tell people who don't follow Quix, you need to find at SoulQuix on X, and you need to tune in to one of the more unique crypto content series I've seen in a minute. I've got on the screen season 1, episode 4. of Solana stand-up where Quix gets on the microphone a la Jerry Seinfeld, complete with the boom, boom, boom. I'll play a quick sample. You hear what I'm talking about?
9 a.m. You won't.
This is some of the best crypto native, but like appealing to a general audience content I've seen in a minute. And I just wanted to give you some flowers for that. Can you tell me what made you think to do that? Are you a comedy guy outside of crypto?
I am. I never have done stand-up professionally. This is something I've kind of already toyed around with the idea. I've done the roast for Solana at Crossroads. I've done the community awards. I'm hosting the second annual community awards. I've done like fireside chats, emceeing at different events. And so this has been something I've always wanted to do. And I was really happy to put this out. Like Seinfeld was my dad's favorite comedian and show. It was right on before The Simpsons growing up. And so that was like an hour block of Seinfeld and The Simpsons. That was a huge part of my childhood. And so I wanted to just put out something that was fun and hopefully puts a smile on people's face and, kind of evergreen comedy and hopefully people enjoy it.
Dude, okay, all right. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I have two things. The first thing is I would love to throw in the assist. If you need a last minute co-host or guest for a roast panel, you call me anytime and I will be there. Even better if we can get Alex on stage to be roasted and Will to make a cameo appearance in the blue dolphin banana costume. The request though is, can you give us a bit right now? Can I put you on the spot for a bit? Do you have a one-liner that you can throw at me? And if not, that's okay. It's perfectly acceptable answer.
Do you have a 5-minute routine? Start now.
Time begins now.
I need a solid 5.
All right. Well, if this is an audience, I'd look at you guys. I mean, who's it always starts out with the question, right? Like, who's a fan of meme coin trading? And people are going to be, A bunch of you guys didn't make out the trenches too well. Too much pump, not enough fun, or vice versa. Especially that section over there. Wait, what is Alex wearing? A Bowden shirt? Oh man, I'm sorry about that, fam. I think totally even switched up to Bernie on that one. I did hear a few claps from the front row. It looks like, oh yeah, that must be the Bowden developer. The creator rewards off-ramped right into those seats. Take a picture for the content. We'll rally the community. Biden's not dead and neither is Bowden. So appreciate you guys for being here.
Oh my God.
Nice. Dude, I have to say, props and credit because nothing... I feel like there's nothing worse than someone walking up to you and just being like, "Hey, make me laugh." Bitch, what? It's like being hypnotized. Like, unless something just absolutely insane happens, some curmudgeon who just is like, "Yeah, make me laugh, funny man," and then just like stands there and stares at you. It's just like the worst setup to just like put a comedian on the spot of all time, I feel like.
Yeah, that's worth a couple of points right there, man. Thank you for being such a pro about it. You're killing it. Brother, feel free to stick around, but also if you need to go, I'm glad to let you go because I am going to grill the white whale in the time he gives us remaining about some of the finer aspects of his trading strategy, his origins from the depths, and also would welcome your questions. But, if you got to go, no pressure. I might ask you to perform.
Oh, no. I'm just a mid-tier comedian, so yeah, I have nowhere important to be right now.
Okay, good. Stick around. This KC says, cannot stop this guy, bro. Grand slam that, says Ginsu. White Whale, give us a final thought on SatRush. And if there's anything that we didn't ask you about that you'd like to share about the platform, if you have an ask for the audience, the floor is yours before we transition, my friend.
Sure. Well, thanks for having us on, and thank you for everybody who's been willing to give it a try and given us all your feedback. Like Quix said, we are in the Telegram, on X, reading every comment, making notes, and priority lists of things to tweak or language to make more clear if something's confusing. We can't do it without you guys, so we really appreciate, the interaction and the feedback loop as well. In business, I hate the term MVP, a minimum viable product. And our framing of this internally was, we're going to launch on Wednesday and it's going to be our MVP. But, really, this is a completed version 1. We have version 2 in the works already and lots of exciting features that are going to, enhance the experience even further. One of the features that we're going to be rolling out in version 2 is going to be an automated take profit. And so regardless of whether you reach your take profit point because of the outrageous and outlandish APR that you're earning through the protocol, or because Bitcoin price has appreciated, or a combination thereof, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, the protocol can help you exit that position. So that's going to be an exciting feature that we're going to roll out. We're also going to roll out some future uses for your hash rate points. It's going to be really fun. We're going to roll out a referral system for everybody who, leave it to me to put out a protocol without a token. Where's my bag workers, right? So the referral system is coming. But, honestly, we're just getting started. Status quo is never good enough. The moment that I wake up and stop thinking of ways to make something better is the day I need to retire. And thankfully, in my 45 years on this planet, I've not came to that point yet.
Excellent. Thank you. Shout out to all the bag workers.
Don't come for me.
And thank you for making time. Do you have a couple more minutes that we can round out with a few questions? Because we do have a lot of questions for you.
Sure, of course.
Okay, excellent. If you have a question for the White Whale or for Quix, you got a joke request, a joke idea. If you've already submitted it and we missed it, let us know. Dan, I've got yours on the YouTube. I will scroll back. Thank you very much for supplying all the questions. Cvish says, this is the best fake radio show in history, hands down. And CryptoBoat says, my 9-year-old just saw Will and said, the world we've come to.
Oh, how far we've fallen.
Can I replace Will with that 9-year-old?
I cannot believe you have not totally stripped and run to the refrigerator yet, dude.
Oh, I have my flippers hiked up to my knees, so we're doing what we got to do. As I have my auto sat rush now set up and running in the background.
Excellent. As do I. I'm trading in my hash points for tickets. And I've got questions on tap. So a number of them coming up. Guys, feel free to interrupt me. I want to start with Radio Dan, good friend of the show, member of the Rise Up community, has done his homework and said, I've got an overwhelming amount of questions written down, so just pick and choose. As usual, been hyperfixated, and he's been diligent about this. One of his first questions that I think would be helpful, people know you, White Whale, as a trader specifically, and they appreciate your knowledge, not just of charts, tokens, protocols, but of the mindset of trading. If people are unfamiliar, you use a lot of analogies to learning things like flying a plane. We've talked about this before. And Dan wants to know, what area of study, other than particular trading methods like Wyckoff, Elliott Wave, whatever, do you think that people ignore but would actually help them a lot in trading? He says perp trading specifically. And I know he's asking about technical indicators, but I want to open the question up to say, if you had to give people a toolkit, create a video game character to make them an excellent trader, what kind of skills would you have them learn?
Liquidity, hands down, no hesitation.
Okay.
Liquidity is the only thing that can move price, or lack of liquidity, right? It doesn't matter, the 20 different indicators that you have turned on in your trading view, community sentiment, none of that matters. Liquidity is the only thing that can move price. And that's, in my experience at least, the area that nobody spends a lot of time on. They'll pull up one liquidity heat map that they don't really know how to read, or they haven't learned how to read, and think they know magically where price is going. But studying liquidity is the key to the game, hands down.
And how would you do it? You mentioned the heat map, and guys, go ahead, feel free to dig deeper, but can you give us some practical tacticals? And what would you say about confounding factors, like Dan's follow-up was about the news? Do technicals and liquidity events dictate the news? Does it happen the other way around?
I think it's show me the chart and I'll tell you the news, right? I think that a lot of times the headlines are cover for what was already destined to happen anyway. Because, us as human beings, we tend to like to be able to explain things. Our minds don't like an open loop. We don't like unsolved mysteries. And so a lot of times, people will look at the headlines to try to explain what just happened when, the astute trader could have told you that thing was going to happen 6 hours ago. And the headline is just the explanation.
Excellent. A follow-up related to headlines comes in from Solom. He wants to know about like hype. SpaceX is a notable example. There are a lot of stocks or more tokens that have these astronomical valuations compared to their revenue. So how do you look at things like that? How do you weigh the fundamentals of a business, a revenue generating company versus a hype machine when it comes to what you will trade or what you will invest in?
Well, between those two options, I'll take the hype machine, right? Because revenue doesn't matter if they're not sharing it with you. It's not yours. You know, you don't own stock in a company. You're not getting the dividends.
But if it doesn't have liquidity, then we're not playing anyway. Liquidity is first.
Exactly.
And then the hype factor is second. Mm-hmm. How did you come to learn this? Oh, go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
No. Finish this thought first.
Well, I mean, I think
because
it's just,
I remember
for me, it was
having conversations where we explored this idea and
we did.
And hearing you say like, this makes no sense, but I've realized, you know, you've had an epiphany about this.
Sure. Yeah. No, in our early days, I remember one of your favorite phrases was, you know, but they're going to be on the front page of the internet. And I think my pushback to you was always, but like, how does this token justify its valuation? And I think both can be true at the same time, to borrow an Alexism.
Look at you mixing all your metaphors. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, well, my question was going back to liquidity. So if you are chatting with somebody, they're new, or they found your channel, or they're just new in general, you know, and you tell someone, hey, liquidity is what moves the market, and I agree with you, where would you tell people to start? Is it the HTF liquidity tool on Trading Grid? Is that not enough? Is it the Bitcoin liquidation heat map on Coin? Oh my God, how am I forgetting the name of it? On
CoinGlass.
CoinGlass.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I have. Funny enough, I have it open on my window, and I even forgot the name of it. But or like, where would you tell people to start learning and studying liquidity in terms of how to develop a trading strategy?
So the liquidation maps on CoinGlass are something that I use every single day. Where I think a lot of people use them wrong is they will just take whatever default screen loads and assume that's the end of the story. When in fact, your job is to look for the confluence between the various timeframes. And depending on the market conditions that we're in, I've noticed a correlation to which timeframes tend to be more gospel and which tend to be able to be ignored. So when we're in this sideways, choppy, you know, kind of grueling period that we've been in, the shorter timeframes tend to be the more accurate timeframes. If we're an established trend line, the short timeframes are not going to tell you anything. You got to zoom out, start looking at the weekly charts, the monthly charts. But really, your job is to look for confluence, right? If everything moved to the 24-hour liquidity heat map and every TikToker and their brother who shows that, we'd all be multimillionaires by now. So, your job is to dig a little bit deeper, look beneath the surface, and find the confluence between the various timeframes, and compare that to known areas of support and resistance and what's going on in the broader market as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Will, can you just show it real quick on screen for people who've never seen it before? And maybe we can talk through some of those time frames, or, look at this, not that. This is helpful. This is not. And I'll be glad to assist you with the screen share on TikTok. For the people in podcast land, you know what you got to do.
Yeah, so this is the Bitcoin liquidation heat map on CoinGlass, and you have a bunch of different time frames you can look at here. For me, I typically just look at the 3-month to get what the macro sense is, but I do need to spend more time looking at the short-term ones as well. But this right here is we're looking at the 24-hour one. Let's actually just look at the week. So over the week, the brightest parts of this screen is where the most amount of liquidations happen. In this particular case, on Binance. You have a couple different options. You can go here, Model 1 through 3. I would kind of get them mixed up, honestly. I can't remember exactly which ones. I usually always stay in Model 1 and I use pair because I want to see what the biggest liquidations are using the biggest leverage. Typically results in the biggest payday. So I want to see where that financial incentive is in the market from a Binance, because their market makers and Binance themselves will make more money. And if you are of a similar mind as to myself and to Mr. Whale, the market will chase those liquidation levels because that's how the market makes their money. Now you can see right here in this week, like Bitcoin's price moved right up to this really bright spot here, the brightest spot to the upside on the weekly chart here at $65,000. And we grabbed $92 million worth of liquidations. So this was liquidating short positions. And now, potentially, you could expect Bitcoin to come down at the very least to like 63.8, or maybe even all the way down to 62K and grab these big paydays, right? And as you move further out, you're now looking at leverage positions that aren't going to expire for, about a month or so. And we still have a really bright payday up here at 65.2K, but you can see there's a fairly big incentive to potentially come lower down. But as you continue to go to larger time frames, you'll see the chart start to change. So if you want to get the macro picture, you can see that Binance in this case makes the most amount of money if the market is driven to 67.5K or even 68.1K. And as price continues to move higher up from this really bright spot down here, more and more liquidation levels will be added here. And that'll become a potentially very juicy target to maybe bring the market back down. Or potentially, maybe the market comes down, grabs these liquidation levels first, and then starts to rip upwards. You just kind of need to see. But as Mr. Whale mentions, he says, take a look at different timeframes and find the confluence. So let's just say you're looking to set up like a really short-term margin position, right? Yeah, a leverage position. I guess either word works. And you're like, hey, I'm just playing the 5-minute chart. And maybe come to the 24-hour time frame. And, this is a little tough here because you have a pretty big payday to the upside and to the downside here. But, take a look at the time frames. Depending on the trader you are, if you're just like short-term in and out, small or large leverage positions, maybe the 24 hours is right for you. But also always make sure you know where the macro liquidation levels are, because they're magnets to price, because the market is always chasing the money, always. So it's always good to be able to use a tool like this on the liquidation heat map. Similarly, although slightly different, there are tools on TradingView as well. You see these like bars here between the red and the green. This is the HTF liquidity tool on Trading Grid. And so you can start to see where these liquidation levels are across not just Binance, but across the market as a whole in this particular case. So, good tools to be using across the board. But Mr. Whale, when it comes to CoinGlass, is there anything else that you would like to mention?
Yeah, I think, just as a broader topic, liquidation is one piece of the puzzle. The filter that I always run everything through when I'm looking for a trading setup is I run what I call an ROI filter. Does the distance between where we are now in those liquidations justify the move? Does the cost to get there justify the move? And sometimes the answer is no, right? So, big yellow bands get ignored because we're just a little bit too far away from them, and the juice might not be worth the squeeze. So running it through kind of your own internal ROI filter to say, does that move justify, the gain? I found to be incredibly valuable.
Well said.
Interesting. How do you go about, performing that calculation, or, how is it?
To be honest, I wish I had a secret formula to share with you and the audience, but really it just comes from staring at this stuff all day, every day. And, when you do that, and that's the reason I only usually trade 2 or 3 different assets, when you stare at this stuff all day, every day, you learn it. You learn it very intimately. And you learn what, means what when you see it. And then it's just kind of this inherent knowledge. And I wish it was easier to articulate than that, but it really just comes with practice.
So, through your eyes, then, what do you see is about to happen?
Yeah, are we at the bottom? That's a question that keeps coming up. Have you changed
Mr.
direction?
William Watson, I have said that I think the high 50s were bear market bottom for about the last 90 days. I have also said I'm either right or wrong, right? I don't pretend to be an oracle. I think we are in a danger zone. Something big on the macro could pop off that, takes us lower. But short of any catalyst to the down, that would push us down. I do think that, the bear market bottoms are in. and that generally the market wants to go up. There's a lot of things happening in the market that are, preventing us from, mooning like we all want. Well, like the bulls want. But, the market generally wants to start creeping up. But there's a lot going on. Short time frame trades are the only trades I'm taking right now, just because there's so much chaos, and we're still in that awkward phase.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
The funny thing is, I never got nervous about going on this radio show. I've done radio interviews in a past life. And then I got a text from my wife from the other room saying, "Who's the guy in the dolphin costume?" And the second I saw that text message, I got nervous. I was like, oh shit, my wife is listening?
Seeing me in this company? But also, props to her for saying I'm a dolphin and not a blue banana. So she has a good eye. She has a good eye for that.
Listen, the best comment that ever came out of that was a comment I saw in one of Will's many videos with him dressed like that, and it was just like, I can't believe I'm sitting here getting my financial advice from a blue banana on TikTok. And I was just like, you know what? It's a sign of the times. What did the 9-year-old just say, Crypto Boat? How far we've fallen, or something like that?
What have we come to?
What have we come to?
Yeah.
I had a thought on your lack of a secret, Mr. Whale. I agree with Feral Candles in the TikTok comments that, like, nope, that is the secret. And I think it's important to drill into why that is the secret for just a second, because the reason that almost everybody who outsources their conviction and their plan and their secret and their strategy making and their all of everything to, like, people randomly on the internet, the reason that you always lose your money when you do that is because the actual secret is really truly the value of earned and learned experience, and there's no substitute for it. And it
100%.
It is often a thing that you can build that and not fully understand how you've gotten to that point, but it just becomes this thing inherent in you. I get it all the time. It's like the gut feeling now when you see a new thing launch, or a new token pops up, or someone presents you with a new business idea, and it's just gotten to the point for me where it's like, nope, yep, nope, yep. And it's hard to explain. I'm sure that's exactly how you feel when you look at a chart or all of your different setups for the day or whatever. Like, if you had to sit down and give someone a 20-minute dissertation about why you picked this, it'd be just like, that's the vibe. I don't know. And it sounds silly, but, like, that's what it is. That is the secret.
Yeah, it looks like Evan's got the post that I made up on the screen, but I was going to share that. Like, last year, I think my total success rate at trades was somewhere around 86, 87%. Of course, I'm famously known as the largest liquidation on 1010 of anyone in the planet.
Hey, I didn't bring it up, just for the record.
Not how you said it,
not me.
You gotta get ahead of it. It's coming, right? Somebody's going to ask. Not necessarily what I want to be known for, but it is what it is. My success rate last year was pretty damn good, 87%. I started off this year, and in the first part of this trading season for me, I was hovering around 90%, 91%, doing pretty good. And that one thing that I changed shot me up to, now I'm looking at my dashboard, 97.1% success rate for trades year to date. And that one thing is I stopped listening to everyone, even people I respect, even people I love, even people I trust. If I see somebody's video like Will's, doing TA or giving his opinion, I am quickly scrolling past. He could be right, but I don't want that influence. I don't want it even subtly creeping into my brain on a subconscious level. And so tuning everyone out and just getting into my zone with my strategy, with my experience and my intuition has been a life changer for this year.
Yeah, dude. I mean, first of all, like, that's the goal for everybody, right? That's the goal for everybody who watches our content. And I have always said, I want everybody to become a self-sufficient trader, investor, and user of cryptocurrency technology, to the point where you do not need to listen to a single talking head on the internet to learn the basics of anything. You have built a strategy. You know how to do the wallet. You know how to set up cold storage. You know how to teach yourself things as well. And you can just go, and you can always come back to us and also choose other teachers as well. You can always come back to your teachers and we'll always try to help you. But ultimately, I want you to fly like the beautiful butterfly you are away into the wind, into the beautiful land of profits and self-responsibility. I don't know why I'm French. The self-responsibility of the crypto user. It seemed right.
A French banana. I love it.
This seems like a good time to remind you that someone in the comments says, my wife also said, I can't believe you take financial advice from this guy.
It's so hot. It's so hot here. All the top comments were just like, I can't believe I take financial advice from this guy. And I'm just like, there's a skit where I talk only in EEEs. It's the last video I made, and it was the retirement of the blue banana. And then I filmed myself in retirement, which was me in my shower tub pouring goldfish all over myself. And I had to ask my girlfriend, now fiance, to film me doing that.
But let the record show, Will was also the one that when we met Hester Peirce, commissioner of the SEC in person, was wearing a suit, looked like he came straight from GQ and a business meeting at the same time. And was it yours or mine, Alex, who said, you guys look like Will's interns?
Yeah, and then my mom called me. He's like, oh, Will, it was such a nice interview. You looked nice. You looked nice.
This is a gross
The
misrepresentation.
other two need to dress up a little bit.
Listen here, Mama Watt. I won't apologize for who I am. Okay, I own.
You watch your tone with her.
And this is when Mom would
She's a
very
saint.
sternly Mom talk you down.
I know you wouldn't say that. I know your mother is right there. You would not say that to her face.
No, but listen, I will say that I read enough comments, and I've added 1 or 2 different shades to my work. I'm wearing a white shirt right now.
You have.
and
I'm proud of you.
It's about
almost vaguely
Bitcoin Pizza
blue.
Day, but it is not black. But I'm getting there.
Look at you. Now, you mentioned, White Whale, you mentioned 1010. And since you brought it up, I would really like to take it to when the plane crashes and when you have a loss, especially a loss that you're not expecting, the market moves against what you're prepared for. Can you talk a little more about the psychology of experiencing a loss, recovering a loss? We can go back to 1010 if you'd like, wherever you want to take it.
Yeah, and I think you made a good analogy. When I was in flight school, learning to get my pilot's license, a phrase that you hear quite often is that any landing you could walk away from is a good landing. So yes, my plane absolutely smashed into the side of the mountain on 1010, but somehow I crawled from the wreckage and, was still on this planet, still breathing, still had a few dollars in my bank account, can rebuild. And, that's a good landing as far as I'm concerned. I think the biggest takeaway for me, a couple of big takeaways from the 1010 experience is, I let my ego and an arbitrary number dictate my decision making there right at the end. I had publicly posted on my profile that my goal for the year was 100 million P&L. And at one point I was 98 out of 100 and I should have stopped. I know you and I haven't talked about, 6 months prior to 1010, we were putting targets together and I was like, you know what? I want to be completely out of ETH at 4,000. I want to be completely out of SOL at 250. I don't really know why. I can't articulate why I think those are the numbers while the timeline is screaming ETH to 10,000 and SOL to 500. I said, those are my numbers. I want to be out by that, those prices. And I would have been if it wasn't for that public goal and really stupid arbitrary number, because let's face it, is there any difference between 98 and $100 million besides, 2 digits and pride? And the answer is no, there's not. And so it was a pretty brutal, experience for me. I mean, I think I was in a group chat and Telegram with you guys the day that it happened. And I know my response, at least outwardly, was pretty stoic. Like, well, shit, I just lost, my entire Hyperliquid account. But, inside it was, a different story. I think, the first 24 hours, I was feeling pretty good. I was like, you know what? Shit, I survived this. I walked away from the plane crash. I have built myself up from nothing more than once in my life, and I could do it again. And man, I'm going to take some valuable lessons. I obviously screwed up. I'm looking forward to the postmortem. I'm looking forward to what I can learn. And then as information started coming out about the causation, what caused 1010 to happen, the first place, what caused that price dislocation event, I found myself getting very depressed because I would have rather it been 100% my fault. And there's people that are going to argue, well, it was 100%. You're a stupid leverage trader. Your stop losses should have been better, et cetera. And they're not necessarily wrong, but 1010 was an industry-wide failure of infrastructure. Oracle's put heavy weighting on Binance price. Binance had a price dislocation event. Then their connections to their market makers went down. If market makers can't hedge on Binance, guys, you're going to see liquidity evaporate from everywhere, which is exactly what happened on 1010.
Okay.
And so, when the facts started coming out about, what was the causation? Well, it wasn't that I was that wrong in my position. It was like these big external factors that I had zero control over. I got pretty down and depressed. I was like, fuck this crypto stuff. I mean, this is after dark show. I guess I can cuss, right?
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck this crypto stuff. Like, this is all just a scam. This industry is not nearly as mature as I thought it was. And I think a lot of people felt that way. That's when we saw the institutional money start flowing. ETF turned red immediately. All the ETFs turned red right after 1010. I think it was a wake-up call. Like, yeah, we're not quite as mature yet of an industry as we all hoped we were. And obviously the infrastructure at some level is a little bit fragile. But, I still inherently have a passion for crypto. I have a passion for the original crypto promise. There's nothing that feels better in the world than moving around large sums of money within seconds on a Sunday evening when my bank is closed without asking for permission. Like, that sense of financial freedom is just so exhilarating to me that when I have to do something TradFi, I just want to pull my hair out. And so, I still believe in what crypto, was meant to be and what hopefully one day it will become more of. But, I was obviously scarred by the experience. I spent a few months trying to, go back to, okay, I'm going to try to find another way to make money in this space. I'll do yield farming. I'll do delta neutral strategies. I'll do this, that, and the other thing, park money in DeFi. And at the end of the day, nothing just was that good of an experience for me. I woke up, it took me several months of a break from trading perps before I was ready to come back. And really the thing that brought me back was, waking up one day earlier this year and realizing, why am I fighting this? I have a superpower in this space. I have something that I am pretty dang decent at. And I'm spending months trying not to do that thing and trying to force a square peg into a round hole. I mean, I'm good at yield farming. I can do all this other stuff. But, the one thing that is my superpower, if you will, is leverage perps. And when I realized that I was fighting, doing what I was best at, it was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to come back.
We have a follow-up question. You said DeFi, yield farming, not enough. And we've talked, you and I, a lot about why you do this, especially after that. We talked a lot about why do you want to get back in this? What is this going to be? And Casey has a really poignant question here. I think a lot of people would like to know from you, which is, what do you do it for? And the underlying question before this is, at what point is enough money enough? Because I think a lot of people, if they had even $1 million, would probably walk away from something like perps trading. And they might be puzzled or confused, or they think they are. They're just not in that position. So tell me, at what point is enough money enough? And is that what you do it for?
Yeah, it's a very fair question. And I think, in no disrespect to the person who asked, it's a very common statement. I think the people who say I would be retired if I had $1 million have never had $1 million, right? Everybody from, your person that lives paycheck to paycheck, which I've spent a good portion of my life being that guy, all the way up to your multimillionaire, your lifestyle and your overhead and expenses kind of tends to start matching some of your income. That's not necessarily a positive thing, but, looking at myself, I'm in my mid 40s. Do I have enough money to retire and never work a day again in my life? Yeah, I could make it. I could make it work. I could downsize my life and make that work. But, I have a wife and kids to think about, and I want to be a good provider for them. And really what it comes down to is I just want to be an earner. Like I'm a type A personality. I've owned a business, of one kind or another my entire life. And sitting on my hands and doing nothing, not being an earner feels, more depressing than losing money some days. There's a drive to be a productive member of society in some form or fashion. And whether that's, teaching and educating others, or whether that's saying, yeah, I'm still bringing home the bacon. I think that's just hard coded into me. It's hard to walk away from.
I have one last question about trading, and then I'm glad to open it up to you guys if there's some rapid fire questions I missed. I have one more question for you, Quix, and then I'm good to do final thoughts and give out some points because we have almost come through our 2-hour show. I know the White Whale and Quix have had a long day. So at this time, before we ride our cats and cows into the sunrise, I would like to invite you to leave your final questions, suggestions, good jokes, words of wisdom, or final thoughts, predictions, and other such stuff. And then we will try to get to it. If we don't get to it, leave it in the comments or where the show lives 24/7. I'm talking about community.rumshq.com. It's the link in bio. Wherever you are, whenever you listen, we'll review that later, but it's a great way to get a hold of us, and we know how to get a hold of these guys. We are sure they would love your feedback, especially about SatRush. But tell me one more thing about trading. You mentioned liquidity, but I also see you take a bunch of different trades on a bunch of different assets. Sometimes, you might trade, I've seen you trade XRP, I've seen you trade Hyperliquid, I've seen you trade Sol, I've seen you trade ETH, most of the majors, but occasionally some other weird stuff too. And I'm curious what dictates day to day. Are you trading a particular market, like when Asia opens or when the US opens? Are you trading meme coins? Are you trading the news? And do you ever take both sides of a trade?
Occasionally, I tend to follow, what the different data points are telling me. So, lately I've not been taking any short positions. And I have not really been able to articulate the reason for that. I've talked to people in my Telegram group, and, everybody's calling, do I short here? And I'm like, do what you want. I'm not shorting right now. And it's just a gut feeling. I don't feel like shorting. What assets do I trade? I typically trade 99% of my trades are Ethereum and Solana. Those are the two assets that I traded the majority of last year. Those are the assets that I know the best, the charts that I look at every single day. And you can have a lot of success. Do I trade, a specific market or specific headline? No. My other key to success, I think, this year is I became a lot more disciplined about letting the market come to me. Last year, I would just, I would suffer from impatience at times, and I was so convinced of a move that I would just, start aping in now and then DCAing when it worked against me. And that was a perfectly acceptable thing for me to do, but it wasn't. And so, this year I've started becoming much more disciplined about letting the market come to me. And if that means it never comes to me and I miss that setup, just reminding myself that there's always going to be a trade tomorrow. There's going to be other opportunities.
Guys, do you have other trading questions for Mr. Whale, or is there anything I missed? Aside from this comment from Dan, who says, can I know what flavor of krill that you like? And also, can I be your butler and have where does he say it, trading desk in your closet or something like that?
Just through the blinds, like 16, yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, right. I'll take it under consideration.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, question for Soul Quix. We know Mr. Whale feels like he knows Solana and Ethereum. So I'm curious, what charts you feel like you know the best? If there is one that comes to mind.
He said...
The ones that keep going down. Yeah.
The ones that keep going down. Oh, nice. So the memes. The memes then. Yeah. Alex, I know your answer would be Solana.
Solana and Aerodrome.
Aerodrome. That's right. Yeah, I knew there was another one I was forgetting.
I'm a stolen ETH guy too. I'm mostly an ETH guy when I swing trade. I feel like I know it the best, and even though it's not the most volatile, I feel it's like I sometimes say tokens are like a soap opera. You watch it every day, and you feel like you get to know the characters. You feel like you get to know its personality and how it moves, how the news affects it, that kind of stuff. And I am not an everyday trader. I also know myself. I don't need a token that requires me to watch it and babysit it every day. I can't handle that kind of stuff. I'm gonna lose money. I need something that I can walk away from for 6 months, hear a story about because I happen to be on the Rise Up morning show talking about it and be like, oh shit, it's up. It's been up for 3 weeks. Great. Let me take some profits. You know what I mean? That's like, you know. We did have.
I gotta say Solana and Bitcoin for me. But what was the question?
No. I wanted to piggyback on your question for Quix because he may not be a charts guy, but he's clearly a builder and he's definitely like a Solana guy. This question came from Superfanzo, who wanted to know about SatRush particularly. You decided to place your bets on this platform, and he wanted to know what's the core problem or the gap in the market that inspired the team, and I want to know about you particularly to participate in building SatRush and why you think Solana was the right place to bring this vision to life.
It was the only place. Solana is the blockchain that has the speed, the capability, the bandwidth that's able to do the minute rounds consistently with the distributions. And so, all roads seem to end to build on Solana, and SatRush was no different in that. And, obviously with CBTC, there's a big question that has come to us like, well, what about like Base or, other chains? But it wouldn't work. Like Solana just has the speed and the tech is on that side. And so, it made the most sense to launch as on top of that, the users, the community, the culture has been amazing. I've been here for 5 years now and I wouldn't choose anywhere else to build, to be honest.
Beautiful.
For me, I think it's like, if I'm a real estate developer wanting to build an apartment complex, am I going to do it in my hometown or am I going to travel to a city where I don't know anybody, I don't know the culture, I don't know the people, and build my business or apartment complex and expect that they're just going to love the thing I build, right? I live on Solana all day, every day. It was the only choice.
Beautifully said.
I
saw you, Alex. Go ahead.
I can't disagree. I've talked about it a little bit lately, actually, that I find myself kind of actively trying to seek out things to like upset me or change my thesis about Solana because I'm becoming like hyper aware of like a bias forming. And I can't do it. I haven't done it yet. I'm desperately trying, and it's the deep throes of the bear, but like if you go out into the world of crypto and the industry and the people who are doing stuff and the ones who are still here persevering through yet another down market and whatever, like hate to break it to you, but like 80% of those people are Solana people, and the vibe hasn't changed. So I don't know. That's why it's the chart I know the best. It's why it's the asset that I care the most about making sure that I have what I would consider a healthy amount for me. It's been the top of the DCA list, and I don't know, dude. It's just like why would I go do something somewhere else and have a shittier experience when I could do it on Solana and have a better time?
Dude, and it's not just casino games.
No, it's literally everything I do. Everything I do is on Solana. There's a couple little things that are here and there. I'm not an ETH hater by any stretch. I have a lot of friends that work there and do stuff there, and I would love to get Octin on Solana, Mashal. But I'm just saying, there's cool shit all over the place. But like, I don't know, just for me, I would agree with both of you guys. All of the roads that I've found myself on just have like led back to Solana.
Yeah, and for me, I don't know what it is because I can't really place my finger on it. It's I'm just a little generally upset at like leadership at Coinbase and some of the decisions they've made. But like I loved Base. I was having a great time on Base and all that. And then just like naturally, I just started using Solana more. And there was no single thing. There was no single dApp or application. It just sort of happened. And maybe it was just because people were building cool things and I went to go start checking them out and there was just more stuff over there. But for whatever reason, the vibes just like won me over. That's why I do almost everything on Solana. I still have stablecoins on Base, but a lot of those are going to start getting deployed now that I also think that Mr. Whale was correct in his upper 50K was most likely the bottom, my general thoughts. So I'm going to start deploying capital. And then after that, I mean, I'm probably just going to be playing in Solana.
It shouldn't make me feel so happy, Mr. Watson, to hear you agree with me, but it does.
I saw your comment on my my loss card that I made on Pacifica. You're just like, I have so many mixed emotions because I want to, like, I'm so glad that I'm right and that you're finally a bull now, but I'm sorry you lost money. I had a small short, and for context, I had a small short, everybody, on Bitcoin at, like, I don't know, it was like 63 or like 62 some $1,000 or something at like 50x leverage. And I was taking, like, it was just a small amount. And I took some money that I actually really wanted to play with. And I was like, cool, I'm going to put it into my Pacifica account. And then it automatically backed it as liquidity. And I was like, ah, shit. But I saw the liquidation point of that position now was $134,000 for Bitcoin. So I was like, fuck it, let's let it ride, see what happens. I ended up losing 468%. But again, it was just a small amount of money. The overwhelming majority of that position of my money is totally fine, so don't feel bad. But it gave me the opportunity to make, and by I mean, I asked ChatGPT to make this amazing graphic, and I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled with how my loss card came out on Pacifica. It's gorgeous.
Dude, if you're in podcast land, you've absolutely got to go see this dolphin trapped in a net,
so good,
crying in that. The only way it could be sadder is if you were trapped in one of those, like, soda can plastic things that just makes me sad for the ocean.
I asked it to make that first, and it didn't come out right, so I was like, well, let's just simplify this.
Okay, all right. You guys have been very generous with your time, and all of you have been great too. We really appreciate you for being here tonight. I am going to come to you guys, Quix, Mr. Whale, for a final thought. We will dish out the points as we are wont to do, and then we'll send you all on your merry way. Alex, Will, and I will wrap up with a final thought, a last question from the folks, and we just can't wait to have you back next time. So, Quix, I'm coming to you first. Have you got a final thought, last ask for the audience, or maybe anything we didn't talk about tonight that you wanted to get into before we say goodbye for now?
Go play SatRush. It's live right now. We appreciate all the support. Thank you to all the viewers and listeners. Truly, no matter where you are in the world, it meant the world to us because you could have been anywhere in the world. We're live at Rise Up After Dark, or rewatching because it's recorded. So make sure to share one more time with your friends from around the world who couldn't be here with us live. Amazing interview, great questions. Amazing vibe. Thank you so much for having us on. And StatRush, go check it out. And we appreciate all the support.
Yeah! Thank you very much. And let the record show that I am currently up on my $100 spent 3.78x. Alex, how are you doing over there?
Ooh, I put mine on auto and it's all gone, but I did win entries. I was like, I just took $40 and I was like, let's put it on auto. And then I also had it at auto reload as well. So just like ding, 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 ding.
But me too, but I've covered all the squares. So I'm playing all the squares.
I did not cover all the squares. I wanted to see what would happen. I covered 2/3 of the squares.
I covered not even half the squares, and I'm up almost 4x.
Well, Mr. Lucky Lou over there.
My dad can beat up your dad.
You picked bad squares, bro.
I picked bad squares. I did.
Okay, so I have Will's money right now. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I'm glad you got it. But it's okay. I got my entries. I put them in for the Epoch Vault, though. I'll work on getting some entries into the Bitcoin Vault next.
I have a feature request. I want Pacifica-style win and loss cards that I can generate so that I can make little sad whale or little sad dolphin costumes when I take Will's money by picking bad squares.
They are on the roadmap, sir.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, all right. Mr. Whale, have you got a final thought, last question or an ask for the audience tonight?
Yeah, I think the highlights, the two highlights besides being here with all of you fine gentlemen, the two highlights of my day is, first of all, how many people showed up in the comments saying white whale sounds so young. Thank you for that. As someone who is in my mid 40s and feels like life has put me into my mid 80s, I appreciate the youthful comments there. Yeah. The second highlight of my day is how many people I've seen on X interacting with StatRush saying things like, this is the first time I've ever owned Bitcoin. And
that's awesome.
Absolutely unintended side effect of what we were building here that I think is going to become like the center stage. We accidentally stumbled into onboarding. We set out to build a new and improved version of gamified mining, backed by the most stable and highest liquidity crypto asset in the world. And, give people a fun, rewarding experience and a path to positive EV and all these cool things. And, what we're really doing is we're building an onboarding mechanism to people's first Bitcoin ownership. And I can tell you right now that, a lot of our messaging and marketing is going to pivot towards that because that feels better than, any stat on the scorecard for me.
Correct. I actually have one final very quick question for you, which is, what's your favorite bird?
My favorite bird. Oh my gosh. I don't. It's an owl. There you go.
Yeah.
You passed the test. That is from Owl, who is on the team at the White Whale Labs. I think I rugged him by putting him on the screen. I think you were going to say something else.
Completely.
I was trying to assist you.
You used your confident voice when you said owl.
Okay, if you have more questions for the White Whale, then you can find him at the White Whale Labs. That is on X. You can find Quix at Soul Quix on X. Don't forget to check out his stand-up comedy. It's some of the best in the crypto business. And of course, you can find SatRush at SatRush.io or SatRush.io. But now, my friends, before you go, the very last thing we've got to do.
Wait, Evan.
Oh.
I love rugging your drum roll to interrupt the end of it.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Has anyone seen my mom?
Have not.
Are you setting up a joke? Yeah. Is your mom here right now in the room with us?
Haven't seen her. I don't know. Anyway, final thoughts?
Yeah. I see what you did there. The final thoughts. We are coming to you for your final thoughts in a second. Don't rug my drum roll. Thank you very much. Linda, if that's you behind the White Whale's profile, I swear. The points as they stand. Ladies and gentlemen, in last place with one, having a crappy altcoin. Play again next time, protocols. So sorry. On the board with 1 point, we have got Octant on Solana. We have got Solana. We have got the first time I ever owned Bitcoin. We have got Casey for a great question. Michael Whaler, Mountain Dow, Super Team USA. Thank you very much. Excited Stoic, the White Whale's wife, and having a token that is not a crappy altcoin, but is instead BTC. Also, forgot to mention that down there with having a crappy altcoin, we have also got, sorry, White Whale, 1010. That means with 2 points, we have got Tori, who always finds a way. We have got Radio Dan. We have got me with 2 points. Thank you very much. Alex and Will, can you believe this? In a tie, Alex, you had 4 points.
Can't beat the dolphin,
Will
baby.
Had 5 points and 1. And
what was
you're
my
not gonna
gwump?
Believe this.
You should have had more gwumps.
I didn't write down specifically what your gwump was, but I promise it was a good one. I think it was.
Sounds like horseshit.
No. I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's the truth. I'll think about it in a second. But that actually means you guys get to share second. You're not going to believe this, but White Whale and Quix, our esteemed guests, managed a tie, 7 points each for a combined total of 14 points. They are the champions. Congratulations, gentlemen. You want to take a second to gloat and rub it in Alex and Will's face why you guys are better than them?
I was expecting to lose.
Glue.
You mean?
Yeah,
I was
even with that,
expecting
we
to
still
lose
beat
to all
Will.
of you experienced airdrop farmers over there.
Yeah, I'm farming points over here, man. I'm farming points, and now I'm farming hash rate points for the Bitcoin that I'm going to win, but I'm going to have to donate. Go ahead, Quix. What were you going to say, brother?
No, I was just talking smack to Will because he was arguing about like the 1 point, but we still had it either way. Appreciate you guys. I'm sure you do have some.
because you guys were destroying. I just wanted to beat Alex, and now that I've tied him to an arbitrary gwump, will fuel me in a epic dolphin rage for next After Dark.
Don't worry, man. Tori gave you this little participation trophy emoji down here in the comments.
Tori, thank you so much.
Quix, White Whale, thank you guys for being here. White Whale, thank you for trusting us to help you break this news today, for being a real partner to the platform, and for giving us this interview. I hope it is the first of many, and I look forward to seeing both you guys on the timeline and again real soon. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Now, Alex, Will, I am going to come to you for a final thought in just a minute. Will, you can finally take that costume off.
Yeah, baby. Woo! It's hot. It's hot. Now that the whale knows that I'm not actually an aquatic mammal and I'm a real boy.
You think he's suspected?
I don't think he's suspected at all. There's no way.
You're total grifters.
I'm a dolphin.
Okay, all right. We are going to be back for another episode of the Rise Up Morning Show tomorrow, and we've got the after show. Stick around for that. If this is your first time tuning in because you're a fan of the White Whale, or you just saw this guy in the blue banana costume and you were like, whoa, what's going on here? Then you need to head over to the link in bio wherever you are, whenever you listen. And in addition to all the cool resources, the show schedule, the socials that you can follow, the history of podcasts with incredible guests like the White Whale. We've had some really killer guests. Like the White Whale, obviously, fan favorite, but he's got some competition at the top. We have also got at rumshq.com the link to join the free Rise Up community. This is the place. Whether you are totally new to crypto, you're a degenerate, you're building the future, or you just want a place to commiserate that isn't going to be full of like people trying to sell you some junky token. You know what I'm talking about? This is our solution for that. When you get to rumshq.com, you will find a button that says start here. Man, talking tonight. Start here. This is the free Rise Up community. It's the place the show lives 24/7, where the only thing missing is you. We have got all kinds of stuff there, and that's how you get to the after show. It's just like our regular shows, but it's a private group call, so that you can get on the stage too. You can ask us your crypto questions. We have been in crypto for a long time, and we certainly don't know everything. And we pride ourselves on being able to say, I don't know, but I'll help you find it out, with some help from our expert friends and guests, plus lots of other great links there. The premium program, the JTX referral, all our trusted tools and deals. Like I know we've got a link to DeFi Llama, and Alex is absolutely fuming that he didn't get to share his killer research report that he generated today.
If you think I'm not going to bring it up as my final thought, then you're out of your goddamn mind. All right.
Oh God. We got to save ourselves. Quickly remove him.
Listen, no. I'm glad to defer. Oh, Jesus.
How did it feel, Will? Did it feel good? Did you feel powerful?
It felt. Maybe it'll feel just as good the second time too.
God.
It feels good. It feels good. Honestly, the first time felt better.
I am going to come to Alex for a final thought first. Then I'm going to come to you, Will. The last thing I need to say before I kick it over is a big thank you. Our friend, intern and research analyst Matthew Wiley says, just traded on JTX earlier. It's really smooth. And yeah, if you haven't yet, you need to check out JTX. And we need to say a big thank you to our friends and partners who make this show possible. Talking about Jito and Arculus, the official cold storage wallet of Rise Up. We're excited to add SatRush to that lineup. And I would be remiss if I didn't also say a big rise up to our friends at Raposa, the official drink partner of Rise Up. You guys, they had a killer pitch today. We had a meeting, me and Sock and Seb. We've been working on refining their docs, which are amazing. And they have just got some incredible opportunities coming up to talk to some real heavy hitters who can help their brand go to the next level. And I mean, like, where do you go when you're the partner of the Miami Heat and the Marlins and also at the X Games? But shout out to those guys. Thank you to all the partners who make this show possible, and most of all, you. Alex, tell me what you're working with this DeFi Llama stuff, man.
All right, listen to me, okay? All of you, listen to me. First of all, DeFi Llama is amazing. They have a mobile app, which I just downloaded today. Very exciting.
Crazy,
It's
dude.
important that I say we are in no way, shape, or form sponsored by DeFi Llama. I'm just such a gigantic fan, massive fan. It's such an incredible tool, and it is insane at how free it is. Okay, on a scale of 1 to free, it's free as shit. All right, there is so much stuff there.
Free as shit.
That you can go look up for free. You don't even need an account. They don't even make you sign in. All right, they don't even take your email address to give you all this stuff. It's ridiculous. So I help where I can because I believe in public good. But they do have 1 or 2 little things that you are allowed to pay for, twist their arm. And one of them is this AI, which is really cool because it queries like all the different data and stuff that they index on their site. And they have several different modes. And shout out Sean at DeFi Llama, lets me use the AI. And I have like I did a couple kind of tester deep research prompts, which is like it's more, you know, like turn up your credit usage kind of thing. It's like, you know, turn the dial up to 11, pull the lever, Kronk, and
not to 50.
And you can get like a pretty nice little PDF that they can whip up for you. So what I did, because it's never good enough, I took it a step further, and I said, hey Claude, you've got this cool little thing, Claude Design. Take this PDF from DeFi Llama and make me a PowerPoint presentation. And it asks you so many questions about like, what do you want? What do you want the most focus on? Do you like this order? Who's the most likely reader of this? You know, blah, 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 whatever. It's amazing. Very customizable. Big fan. And check this shit out. Okay, so first of all, this is what the PDF looks like before I feed it into the design thing. So
bless you.
It kind of so this is one that I made for Will. It is just an exhaustive deep dive. Don't worry about the text is going to be really tiny. It's just a deep dive report on Ethereum as an ecosystem, with a prompt that kind of frames it as a potential investment. So, you know, ideally the person reading this is trying to make a decision about whether or not they think Ethereum is worth anything. So there are no opinions in this. There's no conclusions being drawn. There's no like, well, this is a bull case, this is a bear case, whatever. This is just kind of raw data. And DeFi Llama categories, Jesus Christ, they index so much of this stuff that you really get a ton. So I mean, they make all these charts are generated for the report. All these different graphs, all of it links back. Everything is like little tiny links and whatnot that you can go back into, you know, pull the data directly out from the different dashboards you can read. The cool thing about these reports is that while the AI costs money to use, all this data can be looked up for free by just searching for it on their website. So what I did, Will, I'm gonna swap the tab here as soon as I find where did it go?
I don't know how to sell this thing.
Okay, pause, stall.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know how to sell this thing and my stall. I always hit them together, but they are on opposite panels on my. I have to press like 8 buttons to get to
Stall.
From I don't know how to sell this thing. It's a problem. Design flaw.
No, it's
Not ideal.
It's rough. I feel terrible for you.
Feel
Okay,
the struggle out here.
I feel the struggle.
Nice,
Okay,
nice zoom there.
now
I'm just having a good time with people on TikTok.
I'm not going to make us look at the entire thing, but this is what it created for me. So this is just a snapshot. This is current as of literally 45 minutes ago. Wow. So, you know, obviously price is in the toilet because we're in the bear market, but it reflects all that, but it's marked by date. And then it just kind of takes all this stuff. I had a lot of input over like the order that I wanted. I said I specifically wanted to focus on prevalent, consequential, controversial, or impactful EIPs. And so each one of those is a link out where you can go then read like the specific EIP and all the stuff in it. But I mean, look at this thing, dude. Look at this. This is just one of the things, all right, that you can go, oh, hey, what's that? App activity dwarfs. Okay, so we got all this kind of stuff, you know, like all their revenue, all their volume, all their different TVLs, all the different protocols are indexed here. But like, this is one of the reasons why the premium and why the community is so cool, because you can just ask me for these and I'll just make it for you. It's included. It's included in your subscription. And I'm just sitting here begging people to give me things to put into this AI and pull up these reports and give them to you. Okay, they are amazing. They are so freaking cool. So huge shout out to the llamas, because goddamn, this shit is great.
I have a request for you to add into those.
Yes, hit me.
Each section have a description of bullish and bearish factors of that data in each like tab, because everyone's going to be looking at it and is going to want to know, okay, is that like good or bad?
So I actually purposefully left that out, and what I would
purposefully think about who you're talking to. I'm sorry.
Come for him.
He rage quit.
He rage quit.
Quote myself on that.
Man. I purposefully, just for you,
there it is,
left that out because I didn't want someone to read this like investor report and then draw a conclusion that I was presenting to them. And so I specifically did not include that. However, I created a side-by-side PowerPoint presentation for both the bull case and the bear case. And so we could go over those. It did ask me specifically if like that's how I wanted it slanted. And I requested a neutral tone across the board just so that we were doing like raw data.
What a nerd. Dude, Sevish said it in the comments, and it's true. Alex is the one dude that reads the user agreement before signing.
Has nobody watched South Park? Okay, do you remember when they show up to take your organs? Do you remember when they agreed to be part of the human centipede in the iTunes user agreements in that episode of South? You have to read it. Why would you sign something that you're not going to read? Okay,
you just got to let it happen. You just got to be a part of the human centipede.
Okay, Will, give us a final thought. That was excellent, Alex. DeFi Llama deserves a clip. Please clip it, and we got to make a video with those reports because they deserve all the good things that come to them in the world. And you can, let me say quickly before I come to your thought, Will, that you can bug Alex to give you one of those reports.
Please do. I'm begging you to bug me.
I am telling you the fastest way to do it is sign up for the trial of the premium. It's community.rumshq.com. All the sponsor partners are awesome. They're great. The premium members are truly they're the very best part of what we do. They're the people who say, we believe in this thing. We want the value of this tool. We get to spend the most time with them. And if you guys want this research, call Alex. He needs it. He needs it. You can sign up for a trial at the Rums HQ website. It's $30 after the 10 days, and we are going to raise the price to $100 a month because there's a lot of value. It's tough to scale it all, and we want to make sure we have the capacity to scale that value to every single person and deliver it in spades. You guys know you're the best part. Will, I have deferred it long enough.
Come for him.
Give me a final thought.
I'm going to rug Will's final thought just to yell at Matthew.
Jesus, come on.
So my final thought is, I recently just came out and said, like, what? I think 57.8K actually like was the bottom. And now, I'm actually getting really excited to see some like positive, price action here. He might come blah, 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 blah. But like, I switched my official stance from, I don't think my 45K to 51K is going to happen. And whenever you change your opinion on the internet, oh man, the trolls will come out, and they are all over Twitter. My Twitter post, and I've just been looking at them. I cannot wait to reply to every single one of you, because all of you must love me so much, because you're engaging on my posts, and you're my number one fans, and I can't wait to go through and find the worst comment. I go, you're my number one fan, thank you so much, and then I'll find the second worst comment and go, unfortunately, I have to share with you that you're only my number 2 top fan. And then I'll go down and down and down. And no, it's always fun. Whenever you express your opinion and then you change your opinion, oh man, it's almost worse than when you express your opinion on the internet for the first time. But I love the negative comments. There's so much fun to reply to.
Dude, Christina always says, I don't know how you can read those and like not just get so upset. And I'm like, well, first of all, someone took the time to watch my shit and then say something about it. So, hey, thanks, guy. But second of all, it's always an opportunity to dunk on some nerd. Like, of course I'm going to take it every single time.
One of my favorites is just if you'd actually watched the whole video, this would have been answered. That's my favorite. I'm like, yeah, you were here for, you were so close. You're so close.
Dude, that tweet so that close. Anger wrote about POAP shutting down the other day, you wouldn't believe how many frickin' people came into my comments to break the news to me as if they were like cracking the Da Vinci Code. They're like, hey, loser, if they had made a bunch of money, they would still be around. And I was like, oh my God, really?
What?
So I just commented insightful on every single one of those posts, and there was like 50 to 60 of them with someone trying to explain to me as if I wasn't aware that they're going out of business because they didn't make enough money. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, if you read the thread, you would see what I had specifically been complaining about. And it was why they didn't make more money. Okay. But dude, I love them. Keep them coming.
Yeah. So it's going to be great. So my posts have done wonderfully as a result.
I love that for you.
Which isn't my goal. I'm just trying to help, be an inspiration for people to learn. But it does feel good when numbers are big.
Evan, can we give one final glump before we turn off the show to Matthew? Because he's over here in the comments.
Right at the end.
Yeah, well, first of all, he said he played with fire. He said, made it through without getting guamped. That was your first mistake, sir.
Yeah, boof.
Rookie mistake, dude.
Rookie mistake. But then he goes, has anyone ever timed what the average span is between Evan saying final thoughts and the show actually ending?
It takes a hot minute.
What are we at? Like 40 minutes right now?
We
since
wrote
you said
our
it's
cats and
final.
cows 40 minutes ago. They are tired, dude. They're so tired.
They are tired.
So, okay, here's what I will do. I will say a final reminder, which is...
As you know, we are just two people sharing their opinions on the internet.
3 people, thank you very much.
Wait, we need to
Soundboard
redo that
Alex.
sound, dude. We got it. That was
that sound is old.
That's a pre-will sound.
That is a pre-will sound. That's a rare one, and I rarely play it. So can you give me? I'm going to give you another listen, and then I'm going to. Alex, fun fact, absolutely loves it when I give him a line to say to the camera and tell him, "Okay, now do it."
You know, we are just two people sharing their opinions.
He crumbles every time.
So Alex, can you just give me a line read on that real quick?
I'm so bad at reading a line that Evan gives me. It's not even funny.
I give him the line and everything. I love to see your face though, and one day it's gonna make a hell of a blooper reel. We might have to do it another time when you don't have the birds in the background. But
I was gonna say, let me do it when I get home and have the better mic. But the classic way that works is Evan be like, all right, Alex, listen to me. It's really easy. All you got to do is look at the camera and tell people to get an Arculus wallet. And I'm like, okay, I can do this.
He prepares to prepare.
So listen, the shittiest part about, and I'm like, fuck, okay, god damn it, it's over. No, I messed it up.
I'm like, Alex, just say self-custody is important. Arculus helps with self-custody. Get yours, he's like, yeah.
One of the most important skills that you can learn in the blockchain space is, well, actually, there are several that are really important, but like one that's pretty important, that's definitely up there, is actually self-custody. But it's probably not the first one. Okay, shit, and then I'm 10 minutes in and I'm fired.
Except that's usually better than what you end up doing.
That's why the people love you, though, Alex. That's
probably
what you bring to the equation.
That's
is
great.
You bring.
I'm a long-winded bitch. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm a long-winded bitch. Put on a t-shirt.
And fortunately, this is a talk show. And if you're like Thawing Abyss and you're just joining us because your attorney told you to come, first, I'm sorry. Second, let him know the check is in the mail. And third of all, we'll be back tomorrow. You can find all our episodes of all our great shows wherever you are, whenever you listen, plus a bunch of made-for-you content on the favorite social, network of choice of the day, whatever it is. We've got it for you. Find it at the link in bio at rumshq.com. Join us tomorrow for more Rise Up Morning Show for the after show. And then, my friends, come to the community. Ask us your questions. Share what you know. Learn, grow, and we say, rise up. And that's what I say to you now. Everybody stay safe. Be well. My friends, rise up.